Hello. Welcome to the Kiosk Installation Training course. In this video, we'll walk you through the process step by step of how to safely and efficiently install the kiosks. Before we get started, let's go over the items you will need. Make sure you have the following items ready for the installation process. If you are missing anything, please contact the project coordinator for assistance. As we move forward with the training, feel free to pause the video at any time to review the information in more detail. To maneuver the kiosk into the building, use the provided furniture dolly. This will ensure the kiosk is safely transported without any damage. For instructions on how to use the furniture dolly, please refer to the video link provided below or in the description of this training video. In the next section of this video, Jim will demonstrate how to properly open the kiosk and introduce you to its internal components. Let's watch as Jim takes us through the process.
Open the kiosk. The key needs to be turned 90 degrees to the back. A little button in here to pull out the handle. The handle gets lifted up, and then you open the door. There's a lot of sensitive equipment on the actual door, so please open it and close it slowly. There is a shock absorber on here to hold it open. However, when it gets back to a certain point, it will close fast. So please lift up on the handle and close it slowly. Inside the unit is the thermal printer. The HP Thin Client. There's power down in the bottom, along with an external USB keyboard that is not hooked up currently. It's only for the user in case they need it. We have a scanner, a touchscreen monitor, keyboard, and directional arrows in the door. Now, with the unit will come 3 rolls of printer paper. The paper will be stored inside the unit. Additionally, there's some documentation that comes in with the unit. However, there's nothing in here that needs to be addressed. It's more warranty information. We can leave that in the printer, but there is a key. This key holds the printer paper in place and doesn't allow it to come off the roll. You will need to pull this unit out of the unit.
Now that the kiosk door is open, we will demonstrate the proper way to place the asset tag.
The unit will come with a SSA asset tag. If it's not already applied to the HP Thin Client, you'll be required to apply this sticker. This sticker is a security tag and has voided on the back, so please make sure you don't touch the back as little as possible or just use the edges. The unit inside, the HP Thin Client, has a nice little flat surface on the side. Just apply it right to the side, squeeze it down nice and tight, and take note of the asset tag.
Another important sticker included in the provided documentation is the Braille sticker. This sticker is for visually impaired individuals, as it provides additional information about the kiosk. Let's observe as Jim demonstrates how to attach the Braille sticker correctly.
To install the Braille sticker on the kiosk, the sticker has 2 single dots to the left-hand side you may be able to see. Those 2 single dots need to be aligned on the left-hand side on the bottom of the Braille plate. There are 7 dots out to the side that go to the right. So this is the orientation that you need to put it on. There are 3 pieces of paper on the back. Pull them off and try not to touch the back of the Braille sticker as your fingerprints get all over it. Pull off all 3. Now, using those 2 dots as a guide, we want to put the Braille sticker at the very bottom as much as possible, and using those 2 dots, aligning them with the other dots on the front, apply the sticker. Make sure it's down nice and tight all the way across. The spare sticker will be given to the site in case this one gets damaged and they can replace it.
In this section, we will discuss the correct placement of the kiosk in the lobby. Proper placement is crucial to ensure maximum accessibility and visibility for all users. We'll go over the recommended guidelines for kiosk placement and offer tips to ensure the kiosk is situated in an optimal location. Let's dive in. As part of the provided documentation, you will receive an SSA site plan showing the designated location for the kiosk, like the example shown here. This document will guide you to the required location for the kiosk, ensuring it is easily accessible for all users. Reviewing the site plan carefully and following the required placement guidelines in the kiosk installation setup procedures documentation to guarantee a successful installation is important. Let's take a closer look at the site map to ensure the proper orientation of the kiosk. You'll notice that I have placed a red circle around the kiosk and is labeled VIP Kiosk, which represents its designated location in the lobby. This label indicates the orientation of the kiosk's screen from the customer's perspective. Additionally, you'll see a red box with diagonal lines representing the area where the customer will be standing and providing enough space for wheelchairs to maneuver freely. You will use this information to orientate the kiosk into its designated location. In some cases, the site map may depict an awkward or off-center placement for the kiosk, as seen in this example where the kiosk is away from the wall and the center mark is on the corner of the wall facing the guard's desk. It's important to note that no matter how off-center or awkward the placement may seem, it must be placed in the exact position depicted on the site map. Many factors were considered when choosing the site location, so any deviation from the designated location could result in accessibility or visibility issues. Once the kiosk is placed in its designated location, it's important to take a clear and comprehensive photo, framing the kiosk around it and its surroundings to display its location. This photo will serve as a reference point for future maintenance and troubleshooting, so taking a high-quality picture is important. Starting the kiosk in the correct order is crucial for establishing proper network connections. It's important to follow the steps outlined here in the correct order to ensure the kiosk functions smoothly and is ready for use. Let's review the step-by-step process for starting up the kiosk in the correct order.
The network cable and power cable are fed through the back. You might need some additional slack pulled out. Pull both cables at the same time. It is just wound up in there, so if you do get any resistance, just work your cables back and forth until you get enough out. There are security bits on the back side. That security bit, or security screws, that security bit will be forwarded to you ahead of time. If you cannot get enough extension out of there, you'll have to remove this panel and get the excess. At the beginning of the installation, you only want to put the power in. The last thing you do prior to powering up the unit is to put in the networks. We're going to plug in the power and leave the network cable off for the moment.
The next step is to load the paper in the internal printer. Let's watch as Jim guides us through the steps.
You've already got the clip on the outside to create tension. We're going to feed the paper through the middle of the guides on the back. We're going to feed it through about an inch or so, and then the machine will automatically detect it, pull it out, and it will cut it. It will auto eject only on the feed. When a ticket is generated, this will flash, alerting the public to know to take their ticket. It will stop flashing once the public takes their ticket.
The next step in the process is to turn on the thin client computer.
Okay, when you plug in the unit, if the surge protector isn't currently powered on, go ahead and power on the unit. Just a normal surge protector has a reset switch in there. Up top as well on the HP thin client, hit the power button on the very top. The unit will automatically look for a network signal.
Next, connect the kiosk to the network by plugging in the Ethernet cable into the network drop.
All right, now that the unit is powered on, the paper is loaded, the network, the screen is looking for a network connection. We are now going to plug in the network. At this point, the system will start to detect the network. It will update firmware and it will restart at least twice, sometimes 3 times. At this point, do nothing. Leave it go until you get to the next screen. Okay, the first screen to populate will be which software version of the Viper kiosk that we're supposed to take. The only option for you to select is new Viper integrated kiosk. Do not select anything else. Highlight it with your finger and then click connect. Again, it's loading the software into the HP Thin Client at this point. The next screen to come up will be entering the site code information. Verify this from your documentation as well as the site code. Glen Burnie is site code 283. So we're going to select the number pad down here on the bottom and then 283. Verify this before you hit submit. Now, this will give you an office. The site code is 283. The site name is Glen Burnie, Maryland. Is this your office? Yes or no? Hit yes. The unit is now ready for the public.
If your assignment includes the task of decommissioning an old kiosk, watch as Jim walks us through the necessary steps to ensure a smooth and efficient decommissioning process.
Once you get to the old legacy unit, you're going to need to open up the cabinet. These cabinets may look different from one that we're dealing with, as they are no standardization across SSA. Once you open the cabinet, you're going to have a few things in here. You're going to have the touch screen that you're going to have to remove from the unit. You have a small keypad, some speakers. This is the thermal printer. And then you have the Dell Thin Client inside. These are the items that you're going to need to box up and identify. But before you box it all up, you are going to need to wipe the Thin Client inside, and we'll go over that procedure in a minute. At this point, we're going to go ahead and wipe the Thin Client that's in here. You're going to need to get a USB keyboard from the site. They should be able to supply one. If you can't find one, inside the kiosk there is a USB keyboard that is not hooked up. You could use that temporarily for this purpose. What we need to do is we need to take out all the peripherals that we're not going to be using. We really only need to pull one. So like this one right here is to the speakers up here. We're going to just pull that one out, and we're going to use the USB for the keyboard in its place. If you have an available USB slot, just plug it in. The network should be disconnected, and there's no reason to keep sound in there. So let's just go ahead and take rid of that. You have the monitor. You have a cable that will control the touchscreen for USB, and you have power. At this point, we're going to go ahead and power it on. The touchscreen should come up with the Teradici. And when it comes up, there's going to be an options in the left-hand corner that we're going to want to select. And in that top corner, we're just going to touch select for that options and information. Under the information, we have the MAC address. And this is what you need to document on your paperwork for this particular kiosk. If you have multiple kiosks, you do need to track which asset tag, which is on the side of the Thin Client, goes with what MAC address. Same thing for the second unit. And at this point, we can go ahead and power it down and start disconnecting all the components. At this point, we're going to go ahead and wipe the Thin Client. So go ahead and power it on. You're going to hold down the Control, Alt, Space, and Shift key, and continue to hold while the Teradici screen loads. Once the new screen populates, continue to hold the keys down for an extra 3 to 5 seconds after it populates. There it populates. I'm still holding down, and I'm going to leave the shift key down and let go the other 3. As you can see, the no is currently highlighted, and we want to go ahead and reset this 0 client back to the factory defaults. Use the left arrow key to select yes and hit enter. The unit will restart and it will wipe back to factory default. Once you see the new screen, the VMware Horizon, your work is done and you can now power off the machine and disconnect all the components inside. You're going to place those components at the direction of the SSA Site POC. They will then dispose of the cabinet and they will access the equipment based on SSA regulations. An alternate way to get the MAC address off of the Dell Thin Client is a little tab directly in the back of the unit. If you can pull this tab out, the MAC address is listed on the top sticker right here. If you have more than one unit, make sure you verify MAC address to SSA asset tag and keep those 2 together. If they do not have a tab like this, then you can go and turn the unit on and get the MAC address manually through the system.
Read the paper and clear any paper jams that may occur. It's also important to demonstrate how to power on the thin client and explain each component of the kiosk. During this training, take the time to answer any questions that the POC may have to ensure that they are comfortable and confident in operating the kiosk. By properly training the POC, you can ensure that it runs smoothly and efficiently, serving the public to the best of its ability. Before leaving the site, it's important to complete a few final tasks to ensure that the installation process is fully documented and that the site is left in good condition. Firstly, give the second Braille sticker and headphones to the Site POC and add the kiosk asset tag and serial numbers to the sign-off form. Once this is done, have the POC sign the form to confirm that the installation process has been completed successfully. Additionally, take a photo of the kiosk that clearly shows its position in the room. Finally, clean up around the area, removing any trash and leaving the site in good condition. Congratulations! You have successfully completed the kiosk installation and startup procedures, and the kiosk is now ready to serve the public. Great job! If you have any further questions or require additional instructions, please don't hesitate to contact the project coordinator. Thank you for watching this training video, and we wish you the best of luck with your kiosk installation.